And ladies and gentlemen, your JSerra Catholic High School class of 2021. JSerra Catholic High School 16th commencement ceremony. Again, my name is Rich Meyer, and it's my privilege and pleasure to serve as the president of our very dear school. And I want to thank you all for coming out on this beautiful last weekend here in May to celebrate the accomplishments and the successes of these 271 men and women that sit before us. To begin our ceremony today, I would ask that all of you would please rise. And would you please also, gentlemen, remove your hats and your caps as we join the JSerra Symphony Orchestra for our national anthem. To offer the invitation for today's ceremony.
Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Lord God, we ask for your almighty hand to be upon all those who graduate today. Bless their lives from this day on with goodness and love. Help them to stay true to their dreams, to use their gifts wisely, and to walk into the future with faith, hope, and great love. Stephen of JSerra, pray for us. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Please be seated. Before I invite our principal, Mr. Eric Stroop, to the podium to introduce this year's valedictorian of the class of 2021, it's very important to begin by extending our deep thanks and gratitude to so many people who have made this very moment today, this very beautiful May Day, possible. So let's start with our parents. We thank you for entrusting your sons and your daughters to us. We're humbled and we're honored to have shared in this privilege over the last 4 years of helping you to form these young men and women into the fine, upstanding Christian people that they are today. And we know that these years, they've only been part of the journey, but a very important part they've been. For together, our hope is that we have launched these 271 ships upon their proper course. Even though there have been a few unexpected zigs and zags around the final lap of the track, and even here, apparently at the finish line. So again, we're very, very grateful to our parents, and I know our graduates will express that with a very, very heartfelt round of applause for all the moms and dads. And as Mr. Stroop alluded to at the beginning of the ceremony, it was very fitting that we began today by honoring our faculty. For all of our faculty and staff this past year, we are so very grateful for each and every one of you for putting your lives at the service of the faith, the intellect, and character of the young men and women of this graduating class, and indeed the entire JSerra school community. And we know that in particular this year has been especially challenging. We've had one foot physically in the realm here on campus and the other foot virtually in Zoom land all year. And we look across the educational landscape over the last 15 months. There have been many, many places in the country, in our state, in our county, where very, very few children have received an education at all, or if that, very little. And we're so incredibly grateful to you for being in the classroom day in and day out, faithful to your call as a teacher to the young men and women of Lion Nation. Whatever has come before you in your professional journey, and whatever will come after this year, I hope that you recognize that the last 10 months here at JSerra should be one of the crowning achievements in your professional career. And so as president of the school, but also a JSerra dad, I thank you profoundly. And for our students here, for your energy, your optimism, reminding all of us what it is like to be standing at the doorstep of independence. You know, last night we heard great anecdotes at the baccalaureate mass about several of you and the awards that you garnered. But really, when we think about it today, this celebration, this commencement ceremony, is really a celebration of the unique gifts that every single one of you has been endowed with our Lord and Creator, Jesus Christ. We are very, very grateful for all of the contributions that each and every one of you have made to the fabric of JSerra and our school's legacy during your time here in Lion Nation. And we too have learned a lot from you these past 4 years. Me personally, one of you, your freshman year, for example, I learned how to grow tremendously in patience as I went on an international trip with you. And I watched you lose your passport not once, but twice in the first 8 hours of a trip. Once in the Los Angeles airport, and again in Zurich, in the same place, in the same way. And if I had the video screen up, you would see Jonathan Goodwood's face plastered across behind me, but instead, I'll just have to embarrass you, Jonathan, and I've been waiting 3 years for this moment. And I also want to thank a special group of individuals who are so very, very important for the direction of JSerra and our school's vision. That's our board of directors. And we have 7 of our board of directors who are celebrating their children's accomplishments this afternoon. And I want to thank you in a very, very special way for your dedication to the service, your dedication in service to the vision and the mission of everything that we stand for here at JSerra. And we recognize that your efforts to guide our school, not just for the benefit of these young men and women that are before us, but for the students that are going to come year after year, decade after decade, generation after generation. And I want to give a special shout out to one of those members, Mr. Paul Brady and his wife Jackie, who in this graduating class, the 5th of their children and the final child of theirs will be graduating from JSerra Catholic High School. Fun fact about Paul and Jackie, their daughter Emily graduated as a salutatorian of the class of 2017, and just a few weeks back got engaged to, you would guess, the valedictorian, Matthew Feldman, of the class of 2017. So we are very excited for some very smart grandkids coming our way here, and I don't know, we'll call it maybe 25, 30 years. But I want to specifically also thank a few individuals. I want to thank Mrs. Donna Vandenberg, our vice principal, and our staff members Maggie Delane and Mrs. Stacy Vonderlinden, and a whole amazing posse of moms who are part of the graduation committee for making this a beautiful ceremony. Not just today, our baccalaureate mass last night, all of the senior activities that you guys have had a chance to be a part of. A big thanks and a big shout out to you. I also want to thank our maintenance and our security staff, led by Mr. Carlos Garcia and Mr. Don Heffern, for providing both our teachers and our students with a great example of work well done, what it means to pay attention to little details. And Mr. David Amrine, our Performing Arts Chair and our Orchestra Director. As Johann Sebastian Bach wrote, said the aim and the final end of all music should be none other than the glory of God and the refreshment of the soul. Mr. Amrine, thank you for accomplishing both in spades with your program. And finally, I would like to take a moment here this afternoon to give honor to 3 specific individuals, and I would ask that you stand when I call your name. Trey DeSalines, Jaden Genova, and Connor Walcott. Would you please stand? Trey and Jaden will be attending the United States Military Academy at West Point, while Connor accepts his appointment at the United States Naval Academy. So on behalf of not just our school, but our entire nation, we thank you for your service to our country. You guys, we commend you for putting your lives at the service of everything that this great nation stands for. Everything. Life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. And we are all praying for you today that our Lord protects you in a very special and unique way as you strive to protect and safeguard the very freedoms of this great nation. So thank you. At this time, I would like to invite to the podium our principal, Mr. Eric Struve, to present the valedictorian.
I get the distinct honor of introducing the valedictorian for the class of 2021. Before doing so, I would like to recognize a select group of students who have excelled at JSerra. The first 12 students who will be conferred their diplomas all have GPAs above 4.67. This means for the last 4 years, in addition to playing sports, participating in campus ministry, clubs, fine arts, they have taken the most rigorous courses at JSerra and have done well in all of them. So I'd like the following students to stand up for epitomizing academic excellence for your classmates these past 4 years. Nicholas Kiani, Ryan Oriel, Roman Kolakowski, Emily Bush, Matthew Costa, Haley Hughes, Wilson Cunningham, Francis Gaijin, Chiwen Wang, Matthew Marandola, Alexandra Rodriguez, and Ryan Nakanishi. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The valedictorian for the class of 2021 is quite the Renaissance man. He is a 4-year member of the award-winning JSerra Choir, an Eagle Scout, a 3-year member of the boys soccer team, a National Merit Scholar. He's close to fluent in French. He's a JSerra life leader, and he served in Caritas Christi. He set the bar for his classmates in JSerra's academic program, graduating with a cumulative GPA of 4.86. To do this, he took 14 honors classes and 10 advanced placement classes over the past 4 years, including 5 AP classes this past year. He received A's, usually A+, in every single course he took, excelling across every single discipline. In English, Mrs. McKegney said that Nick not only was reliably astute in her class, he boldly asked the meaningful questions and challenged his peers with his intellect. She continues, I'm eager to watch his trajectory as he flies into the future. In science, Mr. Darling noted, Nick is a dedicated student with a serious approach to his studies. His positive personality with a can-do attitude have made him a successful physicist. He uses his knowledge of physics to produce original solutions to demanding problems. In math, Mr. Dioso, who taught him an AP Calculus BC this year, said, when they call people a natural, that's what I call Nikolai. It's when it comes to mathematics, he's the natural. He has the ability to take something complex, break it down, and make perfect sense of all of it. His French teacher, Madame Adegechi, said he has flourished during his 4 years of study. His mastery of the French language is impressive. The effort that he put forth in my AP French class demonstrates the work of an outstanding student. His writing, reading, and oral presentations in French have greatly improved over the course of the 4 years. His choral director, Mrs. Asmus, added, Nick is a dedicated artist, born with a perfect pitch. He is an accomplished pianist with a matured singing voice. He is quick on his feet, never missing a beat, singing the right notes in tune, performing full out, and having a blast. And that's just at rehearsal. He's an impressive and compelling, well-rounded musician, and I know his dedication to music will carry over to any profession that is lucky enough to have him. It's clear his academic attributes impressed all of his teachers these past 4 years. Equally impressive, however, are the other words used to describe Nick. Affable, positive, empathetic, calm, charismatic, kind-hearted, virtuous, creative, well-mannered, and approachable. He's a genuine friend. In fact, one of his friends had this to say about Nick. Nick is an amazing friend. When I see him, truly, I see the face of Jesus. When I say that, I mean that he emanates kindness and love like Jesus did.
Whether it's about school, friends, or even moral issues, Nick is someone I can always go to for advice. Nick, we're obviously proud of your academic achievements, and no doubt you will continue to thrive in the classroom next year at Berkeley. But we are also proud that you never compromised your character in pursuit of academic excellence. You are a fine representative of your class, a true Renaissance man. Congratulations on earning the Valedictorian Award for the class of 2021. Nicholas Chiani. Where's the photo at? Take a quick photo then do your speech. Sorry, Joe.
I gotta ask, why is the reward for working so hard all these years that I have to write one more essay than everyone else? To be honest with you guys, I wrote this speech the same way I wrote most of my essays throughout high school. I waited till the very last minute. I stretched the due date until just this morning, actually. Sorry, Mr. Stroop. So hopefully all that cramming paid off, because let's face it, Ryan Horio set the bar pretty high yesterday. All of that aside, we are here, guys. Graduation. We made it. Our high school journey is coming to a close. Congratulations, class of 2021. Okay, I'm going to try something with all of you. It's a bit of an odd example, but it was my mind at like 4 a.m. last night, so it'll have to do the trick. As I hold up my speech here for all of you to try to see, I want you to try to make out the words I have in bold. You can't see them? That's probably because you're sitting way over there and these words are in 12-point Times New Roman fonts over on my paper here. It says right here, this text is too small for them to read. Those are the words in bold. Now, I'd guess it was pretty much impossible for any of you to read them until I read them to you, because that was how I designed it. You're probably wondering exactly where I'm going with all of this right now. If I were Mrs. Lee, I might just say, like she would say to someone struggling with a test question, just think it through. Don't worry, I'm not Mrs. Lee. It's a good thing you can't already tell this speech is going, because when I was at this point, I didn't know either. The point I have is that only through working together can we make what is impossible possible. It was impossible for you to read those words, right? But with me helping you out, we could make the impossible possible. You see there? That was good, right? In a sort of similar way, I know that without the efforts and constant support of my friends, teachers, coaches, and family, especially my mom and dad, it would be impossible for me to be standing here giving this speech. But through them, it is possible. This award is not a testament to my own prowess, but rather it's a testament to the influence of those people who brought me here and shaped me to who I am today. To all of you, my sincerest thank you. Only through the efforts of people working together can we make the impossible possible. Take this very graduation, this entire school year, for instance. Without the people putting in the time, the effort, the sacrifice to adapt the school to run under the COVID safety guidelines, we would not have had the semblance of normal we are so blessed to have this year, or even be here right now having the luxury of this beautiful in-person grand graduation. To all of the JSerra administration, teachers, faculty, and staff who devoted their time and energy into creating this opportunity, my sincerest thank you. Now, I want to share a quote with you. A lesson someone in a movie I recently watched taught me. It is the obligation of those born strong to defend the weak. Or essentially, in this version, it's more well-known, the Peter Parker principle. With great power comes great responsibility. Now, a lot of times when people hear a quote like that, they think, sure, that's a good idea. People like geniuses or powerful politicians, they ought to use their gifts and strengths to help others. But these people, they don't grasp the full picture. They don't understand the quote. They don't realize that the principle applies to everybody, not just the uber talented or powerful. All of us here, we have our own God-given gifts and talents. Maybe you're skilled in the arts, sports, academics, or maybe you're good at creative thinking, organizing things, or bringing talent out in other people. Whatever your capabilities may be, use them. Share them with other people. As Father Damien said in his homily yesterday, true happiness comes when we live for others. I say that each and every one of us has powers of our own. We have the power to influence our fellow human beings, to make an impact, to bring even a touch of happiness to those around us. I say that that is truly a great power. And so, as we embark on this new chapter of our lives, I challenge us all to fulfill our great responsibility. Make that change, bring that laughter, bring a positive impact to the world, no matter how small. Imagine a world where people just perfectly divided up the work according to everyone's strengths and weaknesses. How efficient would that be? I think Mrs. Summers would call that specialization of labor. And although that kind of utopia might be truly impossible to attain during our lives, we can work for improvement step by step, one at a time. It may not be perfect, but if each of us brings our little piece of change to the world, then together, slowly, we make the impossible possible. So, wherever we're going during this coming year, remember this. We each have the responsibility to lift up those around us so that we ourselves might be lifted in our times of need. Through community, in our love and mutual respect, we can reach new heights. As this JSerra class goes into the world, let us not forget who we are. We're lions. We can be amazing on our own, but together, we're unstoppable. And finally, since valediction literally means a farewell speech, thanks, Membi, I suppose that all I have left to say to you is farewell and good luck, class of 2021.
You got it, all good. Thank you, Mr. Kiani. At this time, I would like to welcome to the podium our Vice President of Mission and Faith, Mr. Patrick Reedy, who will be bestowing the highest JSerra award, called appropriately the JSerra Award, to a member of this class of 20 and 21. Mr. Reedy.
I'm grateful today to be able to announce this year's JSerra Award recipient. The JSerra Award is bestowed upon the graduate who, as determined by faculty and administration, best reflects all the facets of a JSerra education. This individual demonstrates extraordinary growth over 4 years in faith, intellect, and character, all in team together, what we consider to be the marks of a fully integrated person. This award is saved for last because it is the highest award the school confers. It's presented to a graduating student who exemplifies the most deeply held values of our school, who not only serves classmates and the school in an exemplary way, but puts his or her gifts at the service of the kingdom of God. This year's recipient is certainly well deserving of our acknowledgement. Comments from his teachers abound. They hone in on his unique blend of character, intelligence, and almost unanimously point out his proclivity for good old clean-natured fun. Here are some remarks from a few of his teachers. This is from Dr. Capoletti. I was not surprised when I found out this individual would be receiving the JSerra Award. Each day over the past 4 years, I've had the gift of having this student in the classroom. Now, when I started to think about what to write, you might think many thoughts would surface. But for me, only one thought came to mind. What a wonderful young person this is, and how proud his parents must be. I've had 4 years watching this student's continuum of growth. He is someone who has maintained a personal relationship with God. He shows genuine love for his fellow classmates as well as care for the sick. And it is through his inspiration that others reach out to do things they otherwise never thought they could. I'm thrilled he is the recipient of the JSerra Award as he embodies what it signifies. Mr. Mishu adds, this is one of those students with whom one makes an easy and immediate connection. He excelled academically in my world history honors class, but he also excelled in every other way. He was always willing to help others and make them laugh. He is such a genuine person that one cannot help but like him. And Mrs. Hirsch has this to say. This student is a bundle of energy. In my AP Lit class this year, he brought a solid mixture of humor and intelligence to the table every day. Now, he may be a lovable goofball, but he's a lovable goofball with a compassion and concern for those around him that make him stand out as a prime example of what one wants to see in a JSerra student. And finally, if you were a student coming onto campus this year, you know this young man as the electric, engaging gatekeeper who didn't let you enter the quad with a simple, no symptoms today. That didn't cut it. He was the COVID watchdog who wouldn't let you by him until he grilled you with fun-loving interrogations such as, can you name a symptom? Give me one now. By the end of the first quarter, his reputation had grown to epic proportions around campus. It's a pleasure and an honor for me to announce this year's JSerra Award recipient, Mr. Ryan Horio.
Congratulations again to you, Ryan. Fun fact about Ryan, he was speaking a couple weeks ago at a ceremony or an event that I invited him to attend to speak about his 4-year experiences to a group of parents. And afterwards, I was so impressed with his candor, his humor, his good grace. I offered him a spot on the moment to ditch college and come to work for JSerra. And I said, I'll offer you 50 grand right now. And he didn't even hesitate. No way, Mr. Meyer. So I upped it to 75. Didn't flinch. Mr. Meyer, not going to happen. I got to about 250, and you start to see the, okay, wait a second. Maybe that would make sense, right? I think you're going to the right spot, Ryan. We'll wait 4 years for you. So you guys, since the first graduating class of JSerra back in 2006 of 43 students, you now stand on the threshold of joining more than 3,000 JSerra alumni. And one of my perks or privileges as the president here at the school is I kind of get the last word. That's going to come in the form of, we'll see if this works, a brief video clip perhaps, and a few remarks surrounding that clip. And on this stage over the years, I've had a chance to tell stories about maybe a one-legged collegiate wrestler, a 17-year-old who sailed around the world solo. But we're going to start tonight's story right in the middle of the action. or if you remember from your English class, in media res. Right? So here we go. It's the top of the 9th inning. It's June 2nd, it's 2010. The Tigers are playing the Indians. It's a beautiful, beautiful summer evening. And a 28-year-old pitcher named Armando Galarraga is on the mound. And if you're looking at me right now, we're in the baseball universe, okay? We're in the baseball universe, all right? And what's most notable about that night is he's going into the last inning with a 3-0 lead. And this is important for a few reasons. First, it's very rare today, and it was even 10 years ago, for the starting pitcher of a baseball game to make it all the way to the last inning, and he did. It's also very rare for the starting pitcher to go throughout the game and not allow any runs, and he hadn't. It's extremely rare for a pitcher to get to that point in the baseball game going into the last inning without having given up any hits, and he didn't. But it's exceptionally rare to get to that point and having never allowed a single base runner. Not a hit, not a walk, not an error, not a hits batsman. And I need to put this in a little context for you. So baseball, and I'm a bit of a baseball stat nerd, okay? So bear with me for a second. Baseball was invented in 1876. That was the first year that an official game was played. And up until that point, after 125 years, there had been 196,792 Major League Baseball games played. And of those almost 200,000 games, there had been only 20 perfect games. So this is an incredibly, incredibly rare moment. In fact, 0.0001% of all baseball games end in being a perfect game. And that night, June 2nd, 2010, was going to be potentially one of those nights. So the 17,738 fans in the stadium that evening, and even those who came on to cheer for the opposing team, the Indians, they were now rooting for this young Tigers pitcher. He was on the mound with 3 outs away from accomplishing almost the impossible. And Jim Joyce, another key character, was a 55-year-old umpire, 23 years of experience calling Major League games, and he was stationed over at first base. So, Mr. Sears, if this works, would you mind turning your attention, everyone, to the screen and watch what transpired for these last few outs.
And a swing and a high fly ball toward left center field. Jackson is on the run, still going. He makes the catch. Oh, Jackson! Austin Jackson in left center field. A sparkling play. Here's the 1-2. Bouncing ball to short. Santiago, and there are 2 outs. "26 up, 26 down." Here comes number 27. It's Jason Donald and a crowd of better than 17,000 to its feet.
The guy we've been waiting for all night.
Ground ball, right side. Cabrera will cut it off. Galarraga covers. He's out. No, he's safe. He is safe. He is safe at first base. And here comes Jim Leyland. Oh my goodness. Jim Joyce said he was safe at first base. You make the call. Cabrera, Galarraga.
Did he miss the base? He's out. Why is he safe?
He must have missed the base.
Are you kidding me? Why is he safe?
You see right here.
Why is he safe? Oh my goodness, Jim Joyce, no!
Oh, jeez Louise.
Oh my goodness.
What a travesty. What an absolute travesty for Armando Galarraga. Bouncing ball left side, ran it in. I have never been this disappointed after a Tigers win.
Oh my goodness.
Armando Galarraga. What an outstanding performance tonight. And I feel for you.
Look at these players.
Unbelievable.
The players shouldn't get too much in Jim Joyce's face, though, because it's all said and done.
It's over. Let's go, boys.
I mean, it's done.
It's over. Tigers win it here tonight.
At least Jim Joyce is standing there and taking it like a man.
He is doing that. And Jim Leland is letting him have it. So Tigers players let him have it. I don't know, Rod. I don't know how to describe this. I just feel so bad for Armando Galarraga. What an effort tonight for Armando.
So there are three storylines that unfold here over the next 24 hours. Two perhaps are obvious and one maybe not so much. So you have the devastated pitcher, Armando Galarraga. You have the umpire who blew the biggest call in his entire career, Jim Joyce. And you also have the irate manager, Jim Leland. And I think each of these storylines has a really unique message for each of you guys today. So first, let's start with the umpire, Jim Joyce. So you saw the video, Jim. He's walking off the field. He's being berated by Tigers players. You saw Jim Leland screaming in his face. And maybe some of you were wondering, well, why didn't it just go back to instant replay, turn the call over, perfect game, no big deal? Well, instant replay didn't exist in baseball 10 years ago. And so Jim Joyce, as soon as he gets off the field, he goes straight to the umpire's locker room and he asks to watch the video. And he sees the video and he sees how badly he blew the call. And he instantly broke into tears. In fact, he was quoted as saying, "I kicked the," insert your favorite word, "out of the call." And even when a reporter asked him, well, maybe, Jim, did you have a bad angle? Right, maybe that was it. But you probably had a bad angle and you couldn't quite see the first baseman's foot hitting the bag. And he said, no, I had a great angle. I had perfect positioning. I just blew it. And he said, he went on to say, and he said, and this wasn't just any call. This was a history call. He said, I took a perfect game away from that kid all night, from that kid who worked his tail off the entire night. And as I was watching this clip, I found myself thinking, wow, what an honest, sincere apology, an unequivocal recognition of a mistake that he made. And so I find myself thinking for you, well, what's the lesson? Well, perhaps it's obvious. First, be humble in this world. When you make a mistake, you need to fight against our natural inclination toward pride and admit it. You know, for we all, to varying degrees, we do battle with that sin of pride. Perhaps you've heard this quote before. My guess is many of your moms and dads have, but it's from Mark Twain, famous American author. I'm sure you guys have read him, Huck Finn, Tom Sawyer. He said, when I was a boy of 14, I could not believe how ignorant my old man was. But when I reached the age of 21, I was astounded at how much he learned in 7 years. Be humble, you guys. You will never, ever go wrong by striving to grow in the virtue of humility. And really learning to say you're sorry and owning your mistakes will be good training ground. Owning the small mistakes, because inevitably in life, you're going to make a big one. And that's okay. But grow in humility. Be humble. Be willing to learn from others. The second storyline, I think pretty obviously, is the pitcher, Armando Galarraga. And if you recall, when we watched him, in the moment when his perfect game was taken away from him, he almost had a smirk, a smile, perhaps of disbelief on his face. But he calmly stepped back on the mound and he got the next guy out for the victory. And he walked back to the dugout and he had those high fives that were more consoling than congratulatory from his teammates. But did he get into the umpire's face as he walked off the field? No. Did he take to social media and go on a tirade after the game? He didn't do that either. Did he demand that Major League Baseball overturn the call in the name of justice and all that is good in the world? No, he didn't do that either. There's a famous historian by the name of George Will who was commenting on this episode, and he said, baseball at its best puts good character on display in a context of cheerfulness. And despite an obvious injustice, this young pitcher achieved something far more special than a baseball record. His kind disposition provided a perfect ending to an imperfect situation and left an example for the rest of us to follow. So what's the lesson from our pitcher here? Let's be merciful, right? Offer forgiveness, you guys. You will be wronged. There'll be injustices, big and small, that you'll experience throughout life. But when they happen, seek and choose mercy first. Be the first to offer forgiveness. Be the first to extend that olive branch. And what happens if the person doesn't acknowledge that they did something wrong to you? Doesn't matter. Offer forgiveness anyways, in your heart, to God. Because the burden of withholding forgiveness only gets heavier with time. But once offered, man, your soul is freed from the weight of the chains that bind your heart. So lesson 2, be merciful and offer forgiveness. And then finally, that final narrative, perhaps a little bit less obvious, is of the manager, Jim Leyland. So although you saw him after the game, he was the guy who was in the pitcher's face, he was screaming and yelling. If you're paying close attention, he probably had some words we probably wouldn't appreciate here on JSerra's campus that he was using. But afterwards, after the game, and he saw what was happening on social media and all the news, and he saw Jim Joyce, the umpire, getting death threats, he orchestrated the final scene that I'd like to show you in a minute. But again, a quick lead-in. So as Providence would have it, the next day, the very next day, they're playing another baseball game, same teams. And Jim Joyce no longer is the first base umpire. Now he has to move and be the guy calling balls and strikes behind the plate. And Major League Baseball even told Jim Joyce, hey, Jim, take the day off. You don't have to go back, go home, spend a week at home. You can come back out next week and start calling games again. And to his credit, he said, no, I got to be there. This is my job. And traditionally in baseball, it's the manager that goes out and hands the umpire before every game the lineup card that says who's playing in the game, what positions they're playing. They shake hands. Been a tradition for 125 years. But Jim Leyland decided to go off script and do something different. Watch this 1-minute clip of the next day.
Well, here they come. The 4-man umpiring crew is headed out to the field right now. Jim Joyce will be the home plate umpire. There is Jim Joyce crossing the threshold right now, and hopefully Tigers fans will give him a hand. You can see the emotion on the face of Jim Joyce.
Oh, this is so amazing. Amazing.
This is something that he has obviously never had to deal with in his career. He is trying to deal with it right now. He is trying to hold back the tears. And Jim Joyce is standing up like a man today, and he is calling balls and strikes, and he has just taken the lineup card.
Not only is he standing up like a man today, but he stood up like a man last night after he made the call.
Jim Joyce wiping away the tears as he takes the Tigers lineup card and the Indians lineup card as well. And here's a man that has been umpiring in the major leagues for over 20 years. He has seen it all. And he has done it all, but he has not done what happened last night and has not experienced that. And now a hand for Armando Galarraga as he walks back. What a special moment here today.
So what's the final lesson? So you're Jim Leyland, and you're thinking, well, how can I make this situation right? What can I do? Well, I want to challenge you all, and Nick Chiani mentioned this, to be a light. Go be a light in this world. You know, as we've seen over the last year, this world is filled with plenty of negativity and vitriol and anger and frustration and bitterness and all of those things. But in the little moments of everyday life, you guys, you can be a light. And I don't mean to get all Hallmark-esque and unicorns and rainbows on clouds and all those kinds of things. But just think about it every day. In your random interactions with the girl at Chick-fil-A who's taking your order, the guy who accidentally bumps into you on the quad on the way to class next year, I don't know, the guy on the other end of the phone who's answering when you're calling to dispute something that's on your credit card. Maybe the woman who scans groceries at the grocery store for you. I mean, all these opportunities exist for you every single day to bring decency, civility, and frankly, light wherever you go, to a world, to a people that are hungry, in fact, that are starving for light. So God provides each and every one of us every day to bring joy to others in small, ordinary ways. A smile, a thank you, or maybe biting your tongue, not saying something that you want to say, not sending a snarky text, or maybe making a mean-spirited post, even if it's only done in sarcasm or good humor. And in the case of Jim Leland, the Tigers manager, his small decision set the stage for thousands of people to witness the beautiful and virtuous example of humility by Jim Joyce and forgiveness by the pitcher Armando Galarrago. And this was between an ordinary umpire, an ordinary pitcher, on an ordinary day, an ordinary baseball game in an ordinary city. So be a light in the ordinary of every day. And to close out these remarks, I'd like to share with you a brief quote by St. Jose Maria Escrivá, who's a Spanish priest who was canonized by Pope John Paul II in the early 2000s. He said this, he said, "I assure you that when a Christian carries out with love the most insignificant everyday action, that action overflows with the transcendence of God. And that is why I've told you so often that the Christian vocation consists in making heroic verse out of the prose of each day." And a quick amusing postscript to the story. Several years later, the pitcher and the umpire actually teamed up to write a book, co-wrote a book on this incident, and guess what the title was? Nobody's perfect. Right? So as we start today, as you start to head on your journey, the speeches are over. We're ready to do this thing called the diploma. And I want to ask Mr. Stroop to come back up to the stage to offer a couple quick remarks before we get on to the business of today. Mr. Stroop.
In the United Kingdom, diploma, commonly referred to as a testimonium or testamer, for those of you who are closet Latin scholars, we testify, we certify. That's what we're doing here today. We're certifying that you have met with success, the academic rigors and challenges imposed upon you by JSerra. Via this diploma, it is our statement to society that you are adequately prepared to take the next step in your academic journey. Students, as you cross the stage, donning with pride your cap and gown, you'll proceed center stage, take a brief pause, take a mental snapshot of the moment as you look out across the sea of your classmates and all of our guests here. Take pride that you have succeeded at a demanding school, supported by loving parents and faculty members, ready to usher you on to the next stages of adult life. For us, conferring the diplomas is the highlight of our year as a school. It recognizes that over the past 4 years, we've shaped you, now young men and women, on this next step in your great journey in your life. That's why we call it a commencement. It's the beginning of the next part of your life. So with that, we're going to begin the conferral of your diplomas.
Nicholas Abel Kiani. Ryan Kenjiro Corio. Keep going. Roman Alexander Krolikowski. Emily Kathleen Bush. Don't walk yet, don't walk yet. Matthew Valentine Posca. Haley Murrin Hughes. Glenn Wilson Cunningham. Frances Theodora Dijin. Chi Wen Wang. Matthew Nicholas Marandola. Alexandra Penelope Rodriguez. Ryan Masaki Nakanishi. Natalie Marie Abel. Stacy, have them stop here. Nathan Aaron Aguilar. Keep going. Michael Anthony Alleman. Kayvon Cyrus Alipur. Eileen Ixa Alvarez. Gabriela Alicia Alvarez. Lionel Emiliano Alvarez Fernandez. Anna A. Andrade. Kenny Michael Areola Jr. Joshua Aiden Ashkenazi. Aiden James Ashwall. Jacob James Baker. Taylor Chantal Barnes. Addison Aaron Barrett. Brett J. Beatty. Rebecca Joanne Baum. Nolan Charles Bell. Haley Diane Black. Colin James Blanchard. Shelby Grace Blanchard. Bryce Thomas Blattman. Gabriella Shahori. Jacob C. W. Bledsoe. Charlie J. Bouquet. Brock Stephen Bowman. Maximiliano Bruce Bowman. Brooke Isabella Boyer. William Thomas Brady. Joshua Baden Brooks. Paxton Jack Burzell. Michael Austin Busson. Aiden Anthony Byrne. William Allen Cadger. Jalen Keith Calloway. Claire Marie Callow. Juliana Marie Callow. Christina Marie Calvo. Miley Ann Marie Cow Curry. Ellie Rose Carolyn. Devin Martin Carrion. Stay right there. Nathan Daniel Carter. Maxwell Russell Carvalho. Catherine Mary Castillo. Sean Michael Kavanaugh. Taylor Cirillo. April Augusta Craycraft. Jillian Hannah Chade. Emily Peishan Chiang. Carly Ann Childers. Mateo Chi Singh. Taylor Winston Clark. Luke Conniff. Dominic Joseph Corrado. Elizabeth Margaret Rose Coda. Abigail Noelle Marie Cox. Tiffany Ann Craycraft. Ashley Michelle Craig. Heather Jane Creighton. Angel Marie Cuevas. Rodney Lee Colwell III. Alexandra Charlotte Cusick. Carrie Michelle Savar. Did I get it right? William Frank Savar. Christopher Barrett Sear. Gabriel Charles Daniel. Gabriel Joseph D'Arcy. William Vance Davidson. Daniel Thomas Day II. Rachel Elvira De Jesus. Braden Francis Delaney. Sean Nicholas Delaney. Trey Andrew Dessalines. Brian Ming Fang Ding. Carson Andrew Dishno. Connor Robert Dunn. Camille Amanda Duran. Claire Marie Dury. Presley Jacqueline Easton. Jacob Richard Eminger. Austin St. John Ermish. Isabella Marie Fernandez. Olivia Daylin Fetzer. Preston Allen Fix Drisdale. Diego Xavier Flores Casados. Melissa Caitlin Foley. Reagan Lee K. Alohalani Foster. Nicholas Daniel Galetta. Aime Garibay Gutierrez. Gunnar Scott Gash. Jaden Scott Genova. Samantha Danielle Gettinger Kowalski. Andrew Nicholas Gibson. Jack Donald Gibson. Catherine Elizabeth Giddings. Priscilla Sky Gillies. Lola Amabilia Godoy. Thomas Russell Gobranson. Jonathan Fraser Goodwin. Valerie Danielle Grimaldo. Olivia Mackenzie Grund. Colin Alexander Hatfield. Emily Grace Hazlip. Ben Edward Hemphill. Carly Lucilla Hiroshi. Marco Antonio Horan. Morgan Olivia Horvath. Kaylee Tara Hauschman. McKenna Carey Hughes. Ethan Andrew Hunt. Heejo Hyun. Maxwell Vincent Imhoff. Claire Alexandra Yonda. Paige Francis Yonda. Ethan Alexander Janis. Leo Peter J. Richard Allen Jennings II. Luke Michael Jewett. Nicole Marie Johnston. Gage Lee Jump. Hunter Stephen Camp. Braden James Kang. Alina Lauren Karagosian. Madison Nicole Kelly. James Dinghao Kemp. Brian Martin King. Eric Adrian Kisvardi. Brian Lewis Clement. Jacqueline Laputu Canuti. Virginia Grace Koritz. Lauren Elizabeth Kramer. Lindsay Elizabeth Crew. Chandler Michael Curry. Sarah Therese Laxon. Isabella Marie Lamoth. Catherine Therese Layton. Jenna Catherine Lee. Carson Thomas Lesage. Lauren Grace Lucanic. Seth Richard Lewis. Rockford Howard Thomas Looney. Abby Grace Lynch. Max Douglas Lynch. William Taylor Mayona. Morgan Carlton Marks. Finn Malcolm Marshall. Andrea Martinez Alvarez. Kennedy Grace Mason. Alay Khadija McLean. Alana Adams McLennan. Olivia Grace McHenry. Therese Gabrielle McKegney. Paris Marie Melberg. Abigail Lee Melshow. Adamus Petras Memenas. Mason Scott Meyer. Kaylin Elizabeth Mickelson. Emily Gray Miller. Alexander Shant Merigian. Gary Stephen Morrison. Anna Sophia Mullaney. Jeffrey Ernest Muller. Oscar Muniz. Ian Michael Monroe. Mason Michael Murphy. Kendall Grace Merced. Cameron William Nelson. Hannah Claire Nguyen. Lucas Trong Sin Nguyen. Caitlin Ann Nielsen. Emily Mary Obel. Sarah Elizabeth Obel. Aiden Patrick O'Brien. Hannah Rose Ortiz. Arnav Reddy Pagadalia. Ashkan Pakshur. Alice Ann Pancake. Emma Rose Pancake. June Young Park. Ian Joseph Parkinson. Rachel Danielle Patton. Hunter Michael Peasley. Sophia Perez. Michael James Patilli. Joshua Daniel Phillips. David Howard Ponson. Zutiran Rao. Raquel Victoria Renzulli. Nicholas Thomas Reyes. Cade Lucas Rich. Lily Grace Roberts. Samuel Lee Rugetti. Connor Joseph Sakulo. Bijan Sadeghi. Matthew Joseph Salvaggio. Nima Austin Samini. Kale Andres Sandlin. Cody Jackson Schreier. Alicia Gianna Schuster. Annabelle Schwabe. Kiana Sadiq. Roland Omid Cerna Jr. Parker Douglas Sherratt. Ireland True Shigo. Ryan Sammy Shahabi. Colton David Siegel. Ryan Joel Sills. Eric Anthony Silva. Spencer Anthony Simus. Carter Cameron Smith. Madeline Grace Smith. Alexander Oldrate Stein. Nicholas Tyler Stevens. Emmanuel Amaru Stewart. Pierce Garrett Stoley. Lauren Cook Stovesand. Matthias Landon Axel Stromberg. Isaac Spencer Sylvester. Ryan Tabrizi. Aoba Takahashi. Zipen Jeff Tang. Julia Rose Tanner. Natalie Regina Tassinari. Shay Catherine Thiede. Natalie Blaine Thielman. Haley Elizabeth Thomas. Jack Cooper Thompson. George Anthony Francis Tirado. Jane Elizabeth Torfey. Lachlan James Treaster. Jonah Alexander Humans. Daniela Isabel Valdez. Jordan Daniel Veligan. Liliana Marie Voltaggio. Who was that? Sarah Ann Marie Wadman. Reagan Faith Wagner. Olivia Grace Hartley Wagstaff. Connor James Walcott. Hosanna Gwendolyn Walker. Jordan Dalen Washington. Dana Wynn Watson. Hannah Emily Weinmeister. Jack Ryan Wary. Brendan Monroe White. Eric Richard Wiebolt. Edwin Nelson Wilkins III. Alexandra Rochelle Williams. Megan Elizabeth Workman. Nico Joseph Ray. Jack Henry Wright. McKenna Jean Yates. David Joseph Yorkman. June Yu. Jifan Zhao. Eli Michael Zublin. Nicasio Shane Zuccato.
right, we are moments away from finishing up here. We are going to invite members of the JSerra choir to the stage as they sing for you a song of blessing before we depart for today. I would ask our graduates to rise, please. And join our symphony orchestra and the choir as well in singing your alma mater. I would like to ask you, please take your tassel from the right side, switch it to the left, and I declare you graduates of JSerra Catholic High School, ladies and gentlemen.